especially we understand that Islam is a religion allowed a person to lie. A Muslim, he can lie in 3 cases, Muhammad said, to his wife, his family, and in war. When they are Muslims are in war with us. According to Islam, they are in war with the Christians. They are in war with everyone is not a Muslim until Judgment Day.
Personal problem. Can't share it with you guys.
The Quran states that Judas died on the cross, not Jesus. It also says in the context that Allah made it seem so. Is Allah deceptive?
That's with me?
Yes.
First of all, in all fairness to the Quran, as I ask of Shabir to be fair to my text, not believe it, but quote it in context, nowhere in the Quran does it say Judas. About deception, that's a difficulty in Islamic scholarship, and I care not to comment because I do believe God is sovereign and can choose to use methods that to us seem to be unacceptable, but it is not an attack on His holiness. So I have no problem with that Quranic statement.
Allah is not just the best of creators, Sam. Islam teaches that Allah is also the best of deceivers.
You got it. The best of all who deceivers. Now, just to remind you from a Christian perspective, the greatest deceiver of them all is not Yahweh God. That would be blasphemy. It's Satan. Revelation 12:9 says of Satan, he is the one who deceives the whole world. And Jesus Christ our Lord in John 8:44 says that Satan, the devil, is the father of lies. Not God, but Satan, right?
About deception, that's a difficulty in Islamic scholarship, and I care not to comment because I do believe God is sovereign and can choose to use methods that to us seem to be unacceptable, but it is not an attack on His holiness. So I have no problem with that Quranic statement.
Be consistent, that otherwise you're inconsistent, and if you're inconsistent, you're not being honest.
It was brought up about he was asked to compare in case of I guess about God being trustworthy or deceptive, and God cannot lie, and things of this nature. And so he brought up a particular verse from the Quran, and he does mention that it's translated in different ways. And every time Christians bring this up, I always remind them, because it's always tied into the issue about Jesus' crucifixion and whether it was God's fault that Christianity came about and believed these things. However, I always remind Christians that in your scriptures, for example, in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11, it is not unusual for God to cause people to accept that which is false in order that they be punished and go astray. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11 reads as follows. For this reason, God, not the devil, not someone else, God sends them a powerful delusion so that they will believe the lie. Who sends it? The devil. No. Who sends it? God. God sends the delusion so they will believe the lie. And so that all will be condemned who have not believed the truth, but delighted in wickedness. Now, we can look through history and we see that, in fact, there were Christian writings and there were some groups of Christians that did not believe that Jesus had died. You see? So to say that it's Allah's fault, no, this is wrong. Maybe you just unfortunately chose the wrong group to follow. Because there is in history some groups that did believe that Jesus had not died. And there was even, some writings as well. And we can get into those details if necessary. But nonetheless, when this question is brought up, please remember that your own book confirms that it's not unusual for God to cause those who He condemns to accept and believe a delusional lie in order that they be sent astray. It's right there. Other examples we see. Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 10, where Jeremiah says it quite blatantly. He says, I said, Lord, you certainly have deceived the people and Jerusalem, because you told them there would be peace. However, now the swords are at their throats. You told them there would be peace, perhaps to lull them into being comfortable. But now, look, the swords are at their throats. You deceived them. This is Jeremiah saying this. You see? So I would return that question to you then. If this is what your God can do, since you posed that to the Islamic position, how then can we trust your God then, if your God is willing to do things like this?